I'm sure everybody, I feel the urge to tell everybody, hey, because I see Australia in here and LA and the Bay, but I know Mark has a whole thing, so I don't want to steal any thunder. Welcome everyone. Welcome to the Design for the Times Innovation Cohort. Um, we appreciate y'all joining. We are super excited. A lot of you may have seen Mark Garcia's talk before when he was a guest speaker for the Discover Chat, Innovation Chat, and just kind of introducing some of the concepts of industrial design and toy design and giving his background and a little bit of inspiration. And this learning cohort is a time for us to get deeper into that and get hands-on with it and just let Mark talk about some of the concepts and show us some things and examples and get a little bit deeper into the story. So without further ado, I don't want to steal any thunder and give him his whole time here. We appreciate everyone for joining. And yeah, I'll hand it over to Mark Garcia.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate being here. It's an honor. First of all, thank you for taking the time, especially for those that are in the remote places of this planet, I guess. It's again, I'm proud to be here and paying it forward. So thank you, Jeff and Matt, for making this happen. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Okay, so I guess I'll just jump in here. If we could, I'd love to take just a couple of minutes just to get a one line, a name, and where you are, just so I can say hello, and then we'll go from there.
I can go first. My name is Ruben Escalante, and I'm in San Jose, California.
Hi, Ruben.
Hi, Ty Buckman Jordan in Los Angeles, California.
Hi,
Hello.
I'm Nikita Adhikari. I'm from Australia.
Wow. Very cool. That's got to be, let's see, 14.
Hey, Michael Goodson from South LA.
Michael?
What's up, Mark? It's Rolo, and I'm from Virginia.
Hey, Rolo. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, man.
I'm Eric Howard with the network office up in Boston, Massachusetts.
Eric, we're going to be neighbors soon. I'll be
and I'm
visiting Boston soon.
I started working with the Clubhouse network about 6 weeks ago. So I'm still getting to know faces and people.
That makes two of us. Is that all of us?
Hey, so my name is Braulio. I'm from the LBC, Long Beach, California, and I probably have my camera and stuff off because getting sick and y'all not trying to see that. So
appreciate that.
Hi, I'm Cassandra.
Hi, everyone.
I'm the coordinator in LA. Sorry.
No worries. Hi, everyone. My name is Daniel Sanchez, and I'm in Palm Desert, California.
Daniel?
Man, California's in the house. I'm gonna give a shout out to. I just got a message from Bill, another 3D wizard out here in Arizona that's about to hop on just a second. He's navigating around kids, so have some more AZ represented there.
Excellent. All right. Is that? Oh, got more.
Hey, I'm Mason. I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm also not feeling great, so I'm gonna keep my camera off.
Ooh.
But just know I'm a beautiful bald man like Matt.
I could vouch. I could vouch.
Anybody else? Okay. Well, thank you everyone for taking the time to introduce yourself. I'm just going to share my screen first. So let's go here. Okay. Can everyone see my screen okay?
Yep.
All right. So as this slide says, welcome. Thank you for being here. Let's see here. Can't get this. Okay. So I took the liberty to entitle this "Never Work Again," and I'll tell you why I entitled it that way. But Matt was the inspiration to that title, so thanks, Matt, for bringing it there. Never Work Again. I'll explain why it's called that, but essentially, this is going to be a 4-part industrial design curriculum that will explain why after this you're never going to work again, or at least have the vision to. Okay, so next. Thank you for introducing yourselves. My name is Mark Garcia. I'm an industrial designer by training, although my first degree was in computer information systems, which was very boring. No offense to anybody. As you can see, I'm living my dream now as a creative. I'm also a founder. I founded Rogue Innovation Design, which is a boutique industrial design consultancy that helps aspiring entrepreneurs manifest their creativity. I'm also an educator. As you can see, I work at the Academy of Art University up there, as well as Monte Gardens Elementary, which takes me into a nice little segue into all those icons you see there. I would start left with my education. I was educated at the Academy of Art in the industrial design program, got into toy design, and the rest is history, as they say. As a 24, I finished the lead program at Stanford's Graduate Business School, where I got to learn business speak and allowed me to have bigger conversations at my current organization. As when I first graduated from the industrial design program, I was recruited by Mattel, which is the toy design company or toy company that does Barbie and Hot Wheels. I was part of the Cars and Planes from Pixar, as well as Disney Princess as a designer. After a couple of years there, I moved back to the Bay Area where I'm from, and my wife is from also. I started working as a toy and game inventor for Kid Group, which is a highly regarded toy and game invention firm and licensing agency. I became their senior designer, rose to become a director and even president of my own division, to where we started moving into consumer products. Once COVID hit, I decided to take the chance to start my own thing, which I alluded to earlier, which is Rogue Innovation and Design. And the mission there was to essentially help the 99, so to speak, of us that want to do things but just haven't had the exposure. I'm also, like I said, a teacher at the Monte Gardens Elementary School, where I teach design or industrial design, but very simplified to 4th and 5th graders. I teach that once a week on Fridays. And then lastly, I now work for Hasbro as inventor relations and external innovation manager. Essentially, I work with inventors and creators around the world, where I bring in their intellectual property, I license it or acquire it, and apply it to our toys and games. I was formerly on the fashion and preschool team, which included Peppa Pig, My Little Pony, and brands like that. And now I'm on the action portfolio, which is where I manage Star Wars, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Marvel, all the kind of the toys that you see up here. As an 80s kid, I have to say I'm living the dream, and I'm no longer working a day in my life either. But again, more to come on that. In terms of designs, inventions, and innovations, here are some of the things that I've worked on. As you can see, Star Wars, Peppa Pig, Transformers, an internal brand called Nanimals, which is the new Tamagotchi. Recently just came out with a new Grogu, a snacking Grogu for Star Wars also. The bottom row are some of the things that I designed and invented myself. Simon, which hopefully some of you know, is the call and response game of red, yellow, green, and blue. I reinvented it to become the world's first wearable game, and we turned from a hands-on game into one that essentially used your hands in a different way. I'm a real quick story about that is I'm proud of it because it was inspired by dancing. I wanted to get people moving, and because of the way that thing's built and the sensors that are in front, if it calls red, green, blue, you use the sensors to do this, red, green, blue, and after a while you start doing this, which, if you can guess, it's like dancing. And that was my contribution to the world, so to speak, in that game. Dr. Beaker, which is a very popular game in Europe, which I invented literally in 5 seconds in a meeting. It was just a quick drawing, and the clients just looked at my CEO and just said, "Good meeting. Tell us next steps." So I'm really proud of that one. Don't be a scaredy bear. Super proud of that one. And the reason why I brought it there is because just a raise of hand, who knows the movie 40-Year-Old Virgin? Anybody? Well, do you guys remember the scene where he's getting waxed? Where he's getting the hair pulled off his chest? Well, I just thought it was super hilarious, and I wanted to bring that as a game. And instead of it being what I originally thought as a Sasquatch with his getting waxed, which was a little too mature, they turned it into a bear where you pull off his band-aid. So essentially that's where that came from. Break the board. Everyone wants to be a karate fighter. I brought it an invention where you could break the board after doing call and responses, and that's the finale. And then, like I said, cars and planes. This was my first design at Mattel, where I got to change Disney's mind, where they didn't want to have this guy because he was so violent. But my innovation was to turn his combine blades into something flexible. So when it touches lightning, it bends rather than scratches him or hurts him. So I'm really proud to say that I changed Disney's mind on that one. All right. So that's me in a nutshell. But what we're here for, and would love to hear your thoughts real quickly. What is industrial design? Anyone? Okay, I'm going to take that as a no one wants to guess.
Do you want us to answer verbally or in writing?
Yeah, verbally. Yes, please. Just speak out loud. This should be a little bit more.
Pretty much all of us
casual.
are muted.
Oh, please unmute yourself as you wish.
So I see it as, I see it as designing things based on what consumers want and what manufacturers are able to make.
Indeed. Well said. The key there is manufacturers and manufacturing. The word industrial essentially refers to factories and mass production. That's what industrial design is for mass manufacture using industry and factories. And essentially industrial design itself, I like to fancy it as creative problem solving through products, through something that's manifested something physically. Another question for you guys. Why do you think some products are made and some are not? Basically, why are some ideas brought to market and some are just left by the wayside?
Consumer demand, cost.
I guess it really depends on who's looking at the product, because if you bring something to me and I think it's cool, then I'm gonna flesh it out. But if you bring it and I don't like it, then I'm probably not gonna make it. So
exactly.
It all depends on who you're showing it to.
Indeed. And I guess I'll qualify that. Why do some companies' senior leadership take a look at something and say, yes, Matt, or no, Rolo? And you guys touched on it. Cost, number one. Cost is king. Usability, things like ergonomics, how it's used, who it's for, and accessibility. Basically, where can we find it? Is it only through special order or is it through retail? But the biggest thing that I think is most important about why some products are made and not is innovation. Now, innovation, what is the difference between innovation and design? Can anyone
I
guess?
think innovation is how different, how unique it is.
Indeed. Yes. Anyone else?
Yeah, innovation, you're designing something that hasn't been designed before.
I think Matt heard this one before.
That's off the top. It was off the top.
Oh, hey, okay, even better. Even better. Yes. Innovation by definition is creating something that hasn't existed before. Design is basically working off of something that has existed and making it better. Now, there's a very fine line, but the point I wanted to make was innovation is the reason why products get made or they succeed. Now, what about, or sorry, how does innovation come about? It actually comes back through ideas. Ideas is what leads to innovation, but who makes ideas? Who's capable of making and creating things?
All people.
Who said that?
Me, William.
William. Gold star for you, William. Yes, indeed.
Anti in the chat.
Ah, sorry, I'm not looking at the chat. Sorry, guys.
We'll keep an eye on it for you. Yeah, Ty said everyone.
Thank you. William, exactly. Yes, everyone and anyone can come up with ideas. We've done it. We've been doing it since birth. When you're a child and you are crawling around and you need something, you want a toy, you figure out a way to go get it. Or if you're hungry, you figure out a way to get fed, which is crying or pulling on dad's pants or pant leg or something. So all that said, we are creators since birth, and we are capable of making ideas. Okay, so that's one thing that I truly believe, and I hope out of everything that you get from today, everyone is an ideator and everyone is a creator. It's all about exposure, which we're doing today. Now, so design is about making existing things better. Invention is fundamentally making things that are non-existent. In the industry, positions are designer and inventor. Now, they can be relatively interchangeable, but inventors are generally more entrepreneurial. They don't typically work for the company that makes the products. And that's what I'm hoping to teach you guys today, how to become an inventor. Now, how do we design? How do I invent? Oops, yeah, okay. There's a process to this, and that's what I'm going to help you learn. If you guys have heard of a place called IDEO, it's a prominent global invention agency, and they came up with what's known as the design process. And what that is several steps, and I'm going to go through them with you right now. 1, problem identification. We got to find something to solve. 2, research. And I'll go into these each a little bit more in depth. Research, which is finding out about the world and how it affects this problem. Brainstorming, which is one of my favorites, which is coming up with ideas. Visual development, which used to mean sketching, which can still mean that, but also using any tools to go from here onto paper or onto the screen. And then lastly, synthesis, which will be the highlight of this, of course, which is manifesting it into a physical form. That is the design process in its simplified steps. Before I move on, any questions about that? Okay. Now, Why invent? Why do we do this? Why do we create things? Well, it's to solve a problem. Design essentially is creative problem solving, and industrial design is creative problem solving that manifests into a physical product. Now, the question is, what problem do you want to solve? There's a lot out there, and you might not have thought about it yet, but some ways to identify a problem is walking around your home. One example of that is, and raise your hand if you've experienced this, walking around your house and banging your toe into furniture. That's a problem. How do we solve it? I bet you your mind is cooking right now with different ideas on how to do that. Another way to come up with problems is look at products. You might go to retail, you might just look at a product on your desk like this. And you're looking at a mouse. The problem can be aesthetic, it can be ergonomic, or it could be functional, or any combination of those three. But just looking at things, whether it's on your desk, at Target, on Amazon, wherever, you can also find problems by saying, what problem did they solve but didn't solve for me or for others? Another way is to ask family and friends, hey, what's annoying you these days? And then lastly, and this is one of my favorite, look at the headlines. I don't know, do they still make newspapers? I don't even know anymore. But that said, look at headlines. If you want to look at some major problems, you'll find them right there. Now, that is the first part. To identify a problem is one thing, but the part of design that really sets your project off is what's known as the problem statement. What is the problem that you're trying to solve? Now, if I had this mouse, my problem statement might be what? To anyone take a stab at it?
How to charge it while using it.
There's one. How to charge, right? While using. But what problem does this solve? What does a mouse solve?
Navigation on a computer.
There it is. Well said. Because when we talk about a problem statement, we don't want to say, I want to redesign the mouse. Instead, you want to say something like, how do we innovate computer navigation? The reason why I'm saying this is because when you say, I want to re-innovate the mouse, you might just be looking at this physical thing. But with all the technologies today, computer navigation might go through a different way. It might actually use a brain sensor, might use your eyes, even voice, or even all three. So whoever said that, thank you, because that is the type of problem statement we want to have. We don't want to hole ourselves into one thing. And I know it sounds trivial, but it's very important that you don't close yourself off on the innovation that you can have. Okay? Another way, or another example, if I wanted to design a radio, I just want to help you guys practice this. How might we state that problem? Do we say, I want to innovate the radio? I'll give you a hint. No.
I want to broadcast to masses.
Yes. Well, you're talking like a radio station. I mean, like a personal radio.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. Great. I like where you're going.
I want to receive broadcasts without advertisements.
Exactly. So that what Matt just touched on is a particular component of radio or media, right? The example I would share, and it doesn't have to be this, but how do I innovate how people experience music? So open-ended, right? But if I said, how do I redesign the radio? Your mind is already closed off on this box or whatever it is, right? Does everyone understand the difference between the two? Yes? Excellent.
One is thinking
Okay.
about the picture solution.
Yes. And not necessarily pigeonholing yourself into a possible existing thing and therefore trapping yourself from any true innovation. All right. Now, I said after a problem statement, research is the next step. Research will answer this question we see here. How is it solved today? Radios are all around, right? We have our phones are radios now. We have radios in the car. We have radios in the home. But each of those products have a certain set of features, certain set of buttons, displays, users, and environments that they're in. The reason why I say you need to research is to find out all the competitors in the space that you're researching, so that way you have a foundation of what has already been done. To innovate is to create something that has never been done before. How are you going to innovate if you're doing something that Sony did 2 years ago? Right? So that's where research is from. Now, where do you go for research? How do you do research for competitive products? Any ideas?
You can go online and look at their website and check out what they already got going.
Oh, Google for sure.
Use AI.
Absolutely. Absolutely. How about going into Target? Retail. Look at Amazon. Look at Alibaba. You'll see how things are being made and knocked off. There's also places to look for technologies, not necessarily just the products, but the things that make those products work. 20 years, oh, it's almost 30 years ago, when people thought about headphones, Bluetooth just started coming out. How did Bluetooth change the music game? So not only products, but also technologies. So for the internet, going to design blogs, innovation sites, one of my favorite, just if you ever get a chance, New Atlas, it's called New Atlas. Shows all the emerging technologies. Another one, Google Patents. Really interesting. Because there, all you have to do is search something and you will see all the things that people own intellectually, which means you can't use it. And guys, there are a lot of smart people out there that are creative. Using this research will only arm you to be able to work around them and innovate for yourself. Any questions about that? All right. Now, I was tasked by a client to innovate child seating for an active family. My research, and these are just some examples of some products that I found. Components that are different. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. What are some components that you see are different between the three examples there?
So one uses a clamping system, one
Yes.
requires you to sit it down, and the other one looks like it's maybe just for different types of
Right.
tabletops.
Exactly. Some have a folding mechanism. Some are just like that one is suspended. Some have canvas, some are padded, some have their own tray, etc., etc. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because these differences, you need to see them through your research and record them. Because when you start to use all that research, it'll take you to what I'm proud to share with you today, what I share with all my students, my teams, my creative teams, which is a way to create ideas without having to do this. Oh, I have a great idea. Write it down. Okay, I need another one. That will take forever. But what I'm going to show you now will allow you to become an idea machine as long as you do the research to do it. So that said, how do I come up with ideas? Using the research, you start to develop a whole foundation of information that you could use to innovate. One of my favorite quotes, to have a great idea, you have to have many. Okay, a lot of smart people out there. The initial thought, maybe even the secondary, tertiary, maybe even the 20th idea you come up with, people have probably thought of it already. But how do you make a point of difference? Well, I'm going to show you a way. And for $99.99, you can order it. Just kidding. Just trying to see if you're all not sleeping over there. Okay. And so to have a great idea, you must have many. But a couple of things before we go into it. Don't fall in love with just one idea. Okay. When people think of a problem they want to solve, they see something that they like, they want to guard it and like, oh, this is my baby. Like I said, there's a lot of smart people out there. A lot of creative people. Take feedback, talk to people. You may come up with a couple ideas, but you want to have many ideas. Okay. Experience from what I've seen shows that initial ideas are usually not original. Let me say that again. Initial ideas usually are not original. And to innovate, we got to be original. But if you take a handful of ideas, which I'm going to show you, and combine them, the possibility of originality will increase. And that's what I want to show you today. Okay. So here's a way I found to have as many ideas as you can handle. Is that cool? You guys good with that? All right.
Yeah.
Well, it won't be a matter of if you can make ideas. It'll be a matter of which one do you want to pursue. Okay. And the secret key to innovation is Excel. Thank you for the clap. I know it sounds funny, but Excel is really good at organizing and cross-pollinating thoughts. And I'll show you what that means. So, do you remember the research I did? I just showed you 3 examples of seats. And I told you some of the features, which was material, technology, material finish, etc., etc., etc. Well, that's what I did here. This is the innovation sheet that I used for my client. And I broke the product down, or the solution down, into categories, which, as you see up here, are categories. And I'm just going to go through them really quickly. Overall form, seating features, materials, portability, environment. This is a specific one. Because it was a solution for children and active families, the gap that she found was seating that worked on bleachers. Have you ever tried to put a car seat on a bleacher? You shouldn't. It'll fall off. Another category is child restraint. How do we secure the kid? She also wanted it to have a baby carrier, so this thing can grow from infant to toddler. I can't read that, so I'm just going to, but you get the idea. You break this into categories. And then you use your research and start filling all of these up. So overall form, I found most products had a base, obviously a frame. They had flexibility. Most of them come fully assembled. Some of them are customer assembled. They are transformable. They're foldable. I saw origami inspiration. There's scissor mechs, accordion mechanisms, and pop-ups. And those are just some. Okay. Now, the reason why I went through all of those is because that's what? 10 different factors. And that's just for overall form. Now, if you populate all of these, as I did here, you have a foundation to start creating ideas, which is what I did at the bottom. Now, if you look at the first pink row, idea number 1, I took frame and foldable, added bouncer, I added removable fabrics and mesh fabric. Portability, I wanted to add a backpack as well as parent carried. Environment, outdoor. Bleacher mounting, I used carabiners and a slip restraint, etc., etc., etc. And that is idea number 1. Idea number 2, I took a combination of all of these again. Idea number 3, another combination. Trying to keep in mind not to repeat anything, although some will, like environment, because there's really only 2-3 out environments for this anyway. Now, as you can see, I came up with 5 ideas, and these are highly detailed ideas. And all I did was mix and match all of these critical components that make up the solution that I want to pursue. I know that was a lot of information. Any questions about how research fills this up for you and how you create that, turn that research into ideas? Pretty simple, right?
Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
I got one for you. How did you go about the initial categories that the columns are headed with that are kind of like break down the form factor of your product? Yeah, how did you go about figuring those ones out?
Great question. So for this particular client, she came up with a product brief. She said, this is what I want to solve. And me asking her a lot of questions on what she wanted to accomplish is how I started populating those categories. I mean, some of these things, they have to be bleacher mounted, right? Because she goes to sports for her kids, but she also has a kid that she's with. The child restraint, you don't want your kid to fall out. So that's something that was informed by the research. But every product is going to have a different one. Okay. And thank you for asking that. But what's cool is we're going to actually do one together as an example, as a demo. But great question. Does that make sense though, Matt? How like all these categories will change for every solution you're trying to find?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We have a question in the chat.
Yeah.
We have a question in chat. What is a product brief?
A product brief essentially is something your client wants to do, what they want to make. And for this, like I was saying earlier, they were looking for a child seating solution for the active family, which means going to different sports, different events, like first piano, then they go to baseball, then they go to dinner after. Kids have to sit in these environments, but she wanted to create a solution that allows you to have a product for this, and that's the product brief. The product brief describes what you're trying to accomplish. which is totally different from the problem statement. Well, I just want to make sure we cut. Problem is, if we want to extrapolate from there, the problem is there's so many seats out there, but not one single solution that can solve all of those problems. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. I know this is really heady stuff. So happy to take some time. Please don't be shy. I want to share because it is simple. It seems like a lot, but when we do this demo together, you'll get it. Any questions about this? Okay, well, then let's continue.
Mark, I'm going to throw out something here.
Yes.
One of the things that I've noticed sometimes is the client is interested in connecting with a particular type of person.
Yes,
as
that's
opposed
right.
to sometimes knowing exactly what the product is. I want to sell something to this demographic because
Indeed.
I think this demographic is important.
Yes, great
And
point.
that can be a really interesting conversation with them.
Indeed, and thank you for pointing that out, Eric. I did not go to the demographic because it was already stated in the product brief that this is for children. But if we were to, going back to the music example, if I wanted to innovate how consumers experience music, that would be another column, whether it's for seniors or for preschoolers. Huge difference, right? Or for millennials versus Gen X, so to speak. Gen X might prefer this from all your research versus the earbuds, so to speak. So great point, Eric. Any other thoughts or questions before we move to working together on one? Okay. Is it already 4:45? Holy moly. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so let's get this going. Okay. All right. So we are going to do one together, and we're just going to stick with music just for time's sake. To your point, Eric, and I'm going to, everyone, please feel free to chime in. What is, you've already mentioned a user. What user would you say you'd like to work for?
People with autism.
Oh, nice. Autistic. I'm just going to put preschool, senior. By the way, just blurt it out, guys. That's what a brainstorm is.
Young adults.
Yes, young adult. And one more.
People with tinnitus.
Sufferer. Okay. Now, form. I did the big headphone. How else can music be experienced?
Portable speaker.
Portable speaker, yes.
Through your car radio.
What's that?
Through car radio.
Oh, car speakers, yes.
Gramophone.
Nice. Love that. Okay. Now, technology. What are some ways that we can experience music?
Bluetooth.
Bluetooth, yep.
I was gonna say wearables.
Wearables.
Would that be form?
So one thing you're going to find is some of these terms can be interchangeable. They can actually go into different spaces. But Just for this demo, we're just going to leave it here for the moment.
What about synthesizers?
Yeah, synthesizer. And as you can see over on feature, can also be interchangeable with this also, right? Has anyone thought of vibration? Like the jawbone. Okay. Now, what I mean by feature, there's lots of features out there, like waterproof is one, rechargeable is another. Look around you. I know it sounds weird, but if you just think of a description of a product, there's a feature for you. Touch.
Wireless.
Wires.
Wireless? Yes.
Comfortable.
Yes. Okay, great. Biomimicry. Does anyone know what this term is?
When technology imitates biology.
Exactly. Imitates nature. The best design ever, right? And so I love throwing biomimicry in there because it gives you a way to connect dots in a way that generally hasn't been done before. And so for this part, I'm going to throw in a turtle just because of the shape. It's waterproof. It's hard. All of those features. Oh, and it also has things that can retract, like its fins and its head. No wrong answers, guys. But brainstorms, there are no wrong answers.
Koala.
Koala. Great.
Soft.
Yes, exactly.
Bats and dolphins, like echolocation.
Bats. Ooh, dolphins for sure.
Elephant.
Okay. Elephant. Okay. And then this is my favorite one, the X factor. This is where you just look around and throw weird stuff in there to see if it might be able to stick. This one, I'm going to put teeth for some reason. I don't know. Just thought of it.
Invisible.
Invisible. Great. One more, because we got to keep this moving.
Rock star.
Star. Okay. All right. So just for this demo, I'm going to pick autistic. Oops. Autistic. Young adult. Gramophone. Bluetooth and vibration. It uses touch, is soft, and has all of those. Now, autistic, young adult, gramophone. What was the other one?
Bluetooth.
Bluetooth. Touch.
Touch.
Voila. Rockstar. So this is where the magic happens, guys. This is it. You picked all of these words because A, they're interesting, or just random, whichever you want. Now, the innovation comes from connecting these dots. Now, autistic young adult, that is a legitimate demographic, to Eric's point. I think it was there. But have you ever seen a gramophone inspired music device for this demographic? That obviously will probably have Bluetooth and a touch screen, or not. What's cool about this is you can say, you know what, I don't even like touch anymore because this new generation doesn't like touch. They want analog buttons. But it's soft and cuddly. It actually has an outside fur to give it a cool aesthetic because autistic, and I'm just making this up, they are very sensory sensitive, right? And then Rockstar, cool name, it could have that type of aesthetic. That's one idea. Do it again, do it again. And when I said to have a great idea, you have to have many. Do 50 of these. And then hopefully one of those, you're like, oh, you know what? I really like that one. And if you don't like any of them, take all 50 and combine them again. And all of these right here, just as you saw, just because we threw the koala in there, the gramophone, I already see potential to becoming something that is original. Would you agree? It's that simple, guys.
Mark, I have a question.
Sure.
So on your other sheet, when it had like
Yes.
the color coded red and orange and green, so basically that what we just created would be like the first idea in the
Exactly.
red line. Oh, got you.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. All right. Gosh, time is going by so fast. Okay. So thank you for doing that. Any questions before we move on? Because we have a lot of more to go. Okay. All right. Now, oops. So now that we've come up with the ideas, the next step was visualization, which is drawing in the traditional sense, but also as someone put it, AI. You could actually put all these words into AI and it'll come up with imagery for you. But as I've been trained, I like to understand how it physically works. So I make really, really rough drawings. I write on the paper, like 1 to 4-year-old adjustable chair, 2, second mode is infant, car seat carrier holder. This is the back side of it, and then the backpack on how it's folded. Now, I'm going to show you how I mock this up later in the next module, but just wanted to let you know this is how I visualize and get my brain started on how this thing might work. Okay, that's visualization. As you can see, started getting a little bit more advanced. And ultimately, because of the goal of this class is to come up with a model or something physical, this is going to be critical on how things work. Now, we went through a lot. So let's repeat, let's go over again and review what it is that makes up the design process. Who can name the first thing?
Problem statement.
Problem identification.
Got it. You guys are good. Yes. The problem. Now, what's the second step?
Research.
Research.
Yes.
Problem statement.
And what are we researching?
Problem statement.
Yes. What is the problem? What can you find out about the problem, as well as how is the problem being solved now? Right? Competitive analysis, essentially. Once you've finished research, what do you do next?
Brainstorming.
Brainstorming.
Yes. And what is brainstorming?
Coming up with all your ideas.
Yes. And is there a tool for this that makes it easier?
Excel.
Excel.
Yeah. Who knew, right? Who knew Excel could be a creative tool? But it is, because it organizes everything and puts it out there for you. There's also something called mind mapping. We can also get into that later. But for this session, brainstorm. After you brainstorm and come up with 100 ideas, which, by the way, you can be asked to do that one in this profession. What do we do next?
Sketching.
Yes. Now, one thing I want to say about sketching, I'd rather have a chicken scratch drawing that helps you understand and solve the problem over a beautiful drawn rendering. I'm going to repeat that again. I'd rather have chicken scratch that you can talk about and resolve than something that's just a pretty picture. Okay. So please don't feel like if you have limited drawing skills, that you can't do this. You can. And with the advent of AI, you can make pretty pictures, but you need that foundation first. Okay. And the last step to all of this, and we'll be going to more of this next module, is synthesis, which is building it and bringing it to reality, making models, whether it's through cardboard, foam core, what have you, popsicle sticks. You got to make it. Play is the way. Okay. And you need something to play in your hand. That way you can start to really see what's happening. Any questions about how it goes and what the process is? Great. Now, homework. You thought you're just going to listen and not have to do anything, huh? This is actually fun, guys. Hopefully you'll find this fun. What I need from you guys, I need a problem statement. I'm going to need some research, some problem statements, problem identification. Like I said, look at headlines, walk through your house, talk to your friends and family. I'm sure you will have no shortage of problems. Now it's just whether you can pick one that you want to go for. And I highly suggest doing something that you are passionate about. Competitive analysis, look online, walk around Target, Walmart, wherever you want to go, and look at products. Look at what's out there. So that way you know what has been done and you stand on their shoulders. Look at technologies, like I said, new Atlas, Google Patents. But essentially do as much research as you can. Okay. And then the brainstorm. Create your innovation sheet. It doesn't have to be as comprehensive as mine was, which had like 14. You could, like, as you saw today, we only need 5. Person, feature, environment, form, X factor, and maybe even some biomimicry. Okay. And then visual development. Put it on paper, draw it out, use AI, whatever you want, but show something so that everyone can start to understand where your brain is going and get some feedback for next week. Any questions on that stuff? Who just raise your hand if you feel like you're going to have fun this week. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. All right. So we have like 1 minute. Hopefully, if you guys want to stay, I'm down to talk. But any last thoughts or Q&A? I'm gonna stop sharing now. Actually, I'm sorry. Before that, last thoughts. The process of design is cyclical. It's not linear. Okay. Sometimes you can go and you find something so cool that you have to go backwards to go forward and do it again and again until you get to where you want to go. That's okay, because mistakes are the no's that you need to get to before you get to yes. Don't fall in love. You must have lots of ideas, okay? And feedback is critical. Talk to everyone. Next week, we're going to talk to each other and give each other feedback, but also be objective. Lots of ideas is what's going to turn something into a great idea. Push until you're happy. Now, when I said earlier, never work a day in your again, it's because this should be like play. This should be fun, right? And if you're not having fun, you might want to think about doing something else. That's why I said find a problem that you're passionate about, because how better way to enjoy it than by playing? Really critical piece of advice. It's not when you're done, it's when it's time. You have a week. There's a lot to do, and you could really get in the weeds of some of this. I know it. But map your time out. Okay. And this is really critical, especially for the younger ones you're going to be teaching. Time management is so critical for them. They're like, oh, I just really love this thing and I forgot to do everything else. Well, we need to deliver stuff. So it's not when you're done, it's when it's time. What I really would love to share with you is lightning strikes everywhere. Everyone is capable. everyone here is capable of creating something magical. We're born to do it. So remember that. Okay. You, just because there's a professional inventor doesn't mean that you can be the next one. I've seen it. Okay. And then lastly, probably the most important thing, have fun. If you can't enjoy what you're doing for a living, I'm sorry, if you can enjoy what you're doing for a living, you're never going to work a day in your life. And I'm an example of that, kind of. So that also enables you to go above and beyond, and that will turn into your competitive advantage that'll take you as far as you dream. Other than that, any questions?
Will you or someone else be sharing our homework through email or anything?
You mean like what the assignments are?
Yes.
I can definitely. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to share this deck with Jeff and Matt, and then they'll just proliferate it to you guys. It has all the information. Please, the notes are more for me, so I don't know if you're going to be able to really interpret the notes or whatever. But they're pretty much lined up, especially the assignments part. So, Jeff, I'm going to just send it over to you, and then you can proliferate it.
Okay.
Yep, and we got a doc going with a couple other notes, and we'll throw in like the video recording, and we'll make that a running document that we can all share throughout the course of these workshops, and we'll send that out to everybody.
Is there any questions, thoughts?
I
talk too much?
I just have a comment. I would never have guessed in a million years the answer was really going to be Excel spreadsheet. I think Mike, I think somebody said this in the comment too, maybe Matt. Like, I thought you meant excelling at what you do. You know what I'm saying?
The secret is to excel.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Yes, and yes, and
Excel at Microsoft Excel.
yeah, Excel. There you go.
That was a cool project, like a tool. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, who knew? I was enlightened in college, and I was like, I got to put my stuff somewhere because I have too many things I need to consider. But to have it visually, just words to make those connections, it just makes it so much easier.
You know what it
And
kind of
that's
feels
the
like?
machine.
It kind of feels like Mad Libs, like when you
Yes.
kind of come up with a
Yes.
thing. Is that where they
It's
got it
literally
from?
Mad Libs. That's exactly what it
crazy.
is. It's
That's
product Mad Libs. Just think of it that way.
Yo, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And who hasn't had fun doing Mad Libs?
Right. Does everyone know what that is? I know, Angelica, you got some
Right.
youngsters in the room. Maybe do they still do Mad Libs in their age?
My kids still mess with them. Although some of the words that we put in are not as productive as they were today.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But like I said, the X factor words, if you want to challenge yourself, it can really make something just off the wall. But then you ever heard of the eureka or the aha moment? When you're forced to create a connection, it really makes your brain reach, and that's where innovation lies.
Yeah.
Well, Sandra,
Yeah,
thank
that's
you.
Very
All right, I know it's
cool.
5 after. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for taking the time. Any other questions that I can answer while we're here?
And Mark, which transformer is that one in the back that says Supreme on your shelf?
Oh, that's the collaboration with Supreme and Transformers where they put it on Optimus Prime.
Oh, that's an Optimus, Supreme Optimus.
Yeah, it's like that thing sold out, like all 10,000 pieces, like in 2 hours.
Yeah, my little brother was big into Supreme.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Okay, so I guess if there's no more questions, thank you for taking the time, everyone. See you next Friday, where we're going to start diving into feedback, the ideas, and then start figuring out how to make some stuff.
Or next Monday, right, Mark?
I'm sorry, what did I say?
Next Friday, next month, same day, right?
That's what I meant. Next
Okay.
Monday.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate that.
Gotcha.
Take care.
All right, everyone.
Mark.
Well, thank you for taking the time again. It was an honor. And have fun this week, please.
Thank you, everyone. That was great.
Thanks, Mark.
Everybody.
Take it easy.
Bye.
Thanks, Mark.